Hello. Hi. It's us. Here's JT.
Whoa. Hi everyone. We are Entropy Emporium. We do actual plays here. Hold on. Bear with me for just a second while I get the links that we have to post. We do mostly actually play content over here, though I hope to eventually someday work up the courage to do more. But if you like what you see and you like what we do, you can hang out with us over on our Discord. Most importantly, though, sorry, it's being stubborn. Most importantly, though, we are, as always, raising money for charity, primarily the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. That is an ongoing charity drive by us. If you can donate, please do. This is our way of helping when we can't really do much else stuck here in our homes. So if you can, please donate. We're not all free until everybody is free. Those links will be in the chat there. Tonight we are playing God Complex. It is a Girl by Moonlight actual play run by Will. You will see what it's about as we play, but for now I will turn it over to the rest of our cast to introduce themselves. I guess I'll start since I'm already talking. I'm JT. I play Cogs, call sign Carmente. They are stuck in a time loop, and I will let Will choose who goes next.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say Cass. Because I always do the same thing.
Are we in alphabetical order for this one?
Yes.
We are.
I have a brand.
You have a brand.
It just makes it easier. It makes it easier than being like, who wants to go next?
Anyway, hello, my name is Cass. I go by Yoda or Yoda Almighty. And I am playing Troyan Moat, and I use the call sign Ati.
It's my
Izzy,
turn.
Yep.
Hello, I'm Izzy. I am playing Tolu Ajaka, call sign Bumblebee.
And then it's JT.
I already went.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you do it a second time.
Dang it.
I thought about it.
Hot.
You see, you got me. I'm like, wait, wasn't it supposed to be me? Hi, everyone. My name is Logan, also known as Logan the GM. I will be playing Roswell Chief Garm, also known as Cypher if we go into a robot of death and destruction. I'm your resident guardian. I keep the kids safe.
Absolutely. And normally we would also be joined by Youngles, at Gen Geeky on social media, who plays Hayan Grace Choi, call sign Carrot, but she cannot be with us tonight. She is busy with life stuff, as it happens. So that just leaves me. Hi, I'm Will. I'm the storyteller for this game, and I'll be playing everybody else, in addition to facilitating some of the rules for the game, and I guess all of the rules for the game. Anyway, we are gonna, I think, probably get right on into it, since we left off towards the end of our downtime phase by Girl by Moonlight language. So there were a couple downtime actions still on the board. I believe Troyan had one, and I believe Tolu had one. I think that was all that was left.
I have two.
You have two. Okay, cool. And if anybody thinks they have downtime actions left aside from that, let me know. But getting right back on into it, who wants to do what? We had some very nice moments. As a reminder, you can have a downtime action to form a bond with somebody else. You can have a downtime action to form a bond with your mech suit, your engine. You can investigate some of the mystery, or and in the process ready the Bastion, the Delphi, for combat. Or you can heal, but I don't think that's on the board at the moment since everybody is fine.
I'm jumping in.
Yeah, please.
I think I'd like to use a downtime action to try and bond with the suit.
Okay. Absolutely. I love that.
I think
'cause-
Tolu is feeling a little impacted by the conversation she had with Toby last week, or, whenever that was. And is just going to try and force a sync.
Okay. All right. I like that a lot. That'll be very interesting for us. We have the engines, and then we have all of that stuff. Cool. All right. So, what do you think you're rolling for this?
Let's see. I kind of want to say defy,
Ooh.
because I think that this is both defying what she's been told, defying what Toby has said to her, and kind of defying like the role itself by not be like defying the fact that she can't bond with her engine.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I would like you to go ahead and roll that before we get into the kind of mini scene.
Okay, and I don't have any little dots, so that means I roll 2d6 and take the lower one, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. I've just realized I forgot all my dice, so I'm going to be rolling on my phone. Come on, Google.
Love to see it.
Uh-oh, that's a 1 and a 5.
Okay. Well, the good news is that you can't really fail this. You still get links. So you are going to get 2 links with your engine. You mark that down on the character sheet if you have room. Just put the name of the mech and then the 2 links. But I think that makes sense since your goal going into this was to force a sync, which is not, generally speaking, something that is possible. So then I guess my question for you is, how would you be trying to do that? What would this look like?
Let me answer your question with a question. Do I take stress for that?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, you don't.
That was going to be rough. All right. Yeah. I think that she's going to go back to her quote unquote roots, and the thing that she was doing when when Ocean, her engine, first responded to her was taking pictures, as she was formerly a journalist, and she was actually at what was going to be the, I guess, sort of coronation or induction ceremony for Toby.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out. The engine didn't respond to him, it responded to her. So she's gonna like take her camera and stuff, which she still has mostly for like sentimental reasons, and go sit in the cockpit and then just start taking pictures of things. And when that doesn't work, she's just gonna sit in the chair, and I don't know if they have like hook into something or if there's like a helmet they put on or what.
That's up to you. I think each of the engines is pretty unique.
Okay, then I think there's this harness that she puts on that's sort of like Pacific Rim style, where you just sort of get into this little bodysuit and just try real hard to move the limbs just physically on her own.
Cool.
Like it's, standing there locked in position, obviously, but she's like, if I can just do this, if I can move it one step, if I can make it take one step forward, I'm going to do. So just spends a couple minutes just exhausting herself, trying to make it move, trying to sync with it.
Absolutely. And I know we did more detailed explanations or more detailed descriptions, but can you give like a rough description of Ocean one more time?
Ocean looks like a person, mostly a god, I guess. Dark skin, dark hair, but golden eyes, and like a long golden tattoos running down its body. They look like a woman in all white, with golden tattoos running down their arms and legs and across their face.
And yeah, I mean, I'm picturing, so when you pilot your engine, when you take control of your engine, you are able to operate it, but it's kind of clumsy. It's kind of slow because you aren't syncing. So without that kind of like, without using the controls, you're kind of trying to make something happen, trying to make something spark, trying to feel that connection. And it's just kind of cold.
Yeah.
And
I would
quiet.
imagine In my head, it's like very physically, what's the word I'm looking for? It takes a physical toll because she can't sync with it. So it's a lot more like physical movement for her. So for her, for Tolu, when she's not doing this, training looks like a lot of just working out, which is why, last week she went running when she got upset.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of picturing like you make the arm move, you make the arm pull up, and you're just like sweating. There's just sweat running down your face from just that exertion.
It's a full body workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you saying anything to the engine?
I think at first she's saying something like, "Hey, it's me again. Hi. I know we haven't talked in a little bit, but I was a little bit wondering if you would maybe work this time. I know you did it that one time. And if we could do it again when it matters to keep the people I love from dying, that would be great. Please. And just is saying that over and over again. Please work with me. Please work with me over and over again.
And yeah, I think it's kind of cold in the cockpit. It's kind of quiet in the cockpit.
Yeah, I think by the end of it, she's like screaming, or like hoarse even, because she's been just screaming, just like between like rage and frustration, anger, and like some guilt. She feels bad.
Yeah, and I think the more exertion you put into this, the more upset you get, the more aware you are of the darkness in the cockpit, and the more aware you are of like the sweat, possibly even the tears that are running down your face, and just sort of plinking off of the floor. The sort of bolted metal floor of the cockpit area.
Yeah, so I think by the end of this, she's just like in a heap, just exhausted. It's sweating and crying, and like she's used up the rest of her voice and just sitting there shaking.
Yeah, there is no response.
So close.
But I think when you get out of the cockpit, when you get out of your engine, after you've given up, we'll sort of linger. I don't think Tolu will see this, but the rest of us, the audience, will see just like a really sharp close-up of one of those. I don't think we know whether it's a bead of sweat or a tear, but just that sort of moisture on the metal floor. And there's like there's darkness in the cockpit, of course, but then there's like a slight golden light. The drop of moisture takes on a slight golden cast from something glowing very faintly. Tolu doesn't see this, but you got 2 links. So there you go. Tryon.
Yeah.
You got a downtime action left.
Yeah, guess who I wanted to talk to?
Was it Grace?
No, it's Tolu.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
And I
think
have unrestricted time in the bay now.
you do. You do have some unrestricted time in the bay, which I think is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
Not a great time, but also a perfect time, if you catch my drift. That you probably see a sweaty, maybe you can't tell how distraught. Maybe you can tell how distraught. That's up to you. Tolu, like descending from Ocean.
Yeah, I think Tolu climbs down or gets out. I guess the gangplanks probably come up into the heads, and so like steps out, and Troyan's literally just like lounging on a crate.
I think Tolu is like clocks this and just, hey, what's up?
That fucking sucked.
What? Who? Do you have the time?
Tolu.
Yeah.
Honey,
Mm-hmm.
please don't take this as a threat. It is not. If I
Okay.
were to fight you in a mech right now, I would eat you.
Literally, or
Yes.
oh, but it's not a threat.
No.
Great. Okay.
It
cool.
will
Well, I'm
be.
glad we got
If-
that out of the way.
If what I just saw you do here happens out there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you think that works? Okay. Look, I'm all about bravado. It is how I operate. But you're gonna die.
You know, funny enough, that's the second time today I've heard
Yeah,
that.
no, I heard that one. But here's the thing: I actually don't want you to.
Great, that makes it better.
I'm out of practice with this. I would like to help
Okay.
because
How?
you suck. But we're gonna fix it.
Using a lot of really strong language here, but all right, great.
I've been away from people for a while, so thank you for the Okay.
Speaking
so,
of, where is your buddy?
he's right there.
Oh, hey.
I get 50 feet now.
Congratulations.
He can run that fast. Not that I know that it would help him. We're not gonna. I've done the math. I don't know if it would help, but you're trying too hard.
Well, as you know, that sucked, and I was doing my best, so I don't know what the.
Stop. Because it picked you and not that shithead down there for a reason. You aren't like us. You aren't trained for this.
Sure. This is the helping?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm blunt, I've been told. That was the word? Yeah, that was the word he used. Blunt. You're not a soldier, Tolu.
She just like picks up her camera. It's like, yeah, no.
No. You're an artist. You're more creative. We literally have a lot of the creativity drilled out of us and then drilled back in. So you took the camera in there, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Stop it.
But next time you go in, don't climb in the harness and try and force movement. Talk to it. They listen.
They don't listen to me.
They are listening to you. And I will point over to where Ahti has probably turned its head and is not looking at me and is looking at Tolu. Like with its
Tolu,
head
like,
cocked like a puppy. Like
Tolu freezes. Just. Are
She's
they like
not gonna hurt you.
dinosaurs?
she might be, you know? Huh. Nope. Not gonna think about it. Shh. Pardon me. We are having emotional support squeaky toy time.
That's
Because
fun.
the wind is big and scary.
Most of it is not coming
Fair.
through on stream, so
That's good. So I had a thought and it went away with the squeaking. Ahti is staring at you like a puppy. Mako, please stop. I will take it away from you, child. So she's staring at you, and then I'm imagining Will, and we can say yay or nay that Ocean maybe has like a little like hint of life to it now.
I think that maybe there is a little bit to betray that. I think maybe, yeah, like when the Ocean is probably by far the most quote unquote human looking, the most alive looking of all of the engines. So there's maybe like kind of an ashen corpse like cast, kind of a waxiness to Ocean when she is depowered, when she's not being fully operated. I think there's maybe a little bit of like color, basically.
And so I'll point from Ati, and then I'll point to her. She listening?
And Tolu sort of looks up and back down. How do you know this?
Troyan's gonna take a real uncomfortable close step. Do you really want me to answer that?
Is it going to involve me being eaten?
No.
Then yes.
Guess I can't feed you the bullshit I fed Command when I came back. Wouldn't foster trust amongst the team. They're still alive. A little. Just enough. Like a lizard brain. Fight, flight, protect. Some of them are easier to deal with than others, and some of them, and she looks across the bay at Ati, are nosy. When you consume enough of their energy, and you start to feel like they do. It's not inhuman, but it ain't. Well, I'm obviously different than I used to be.
Not to me.
Smart girl like you, I'm surprised you haven't figured out who I am.
Mason clears his throat because he's noticed you are standing too close to Tolu.
What if I was looking for a kiss? Were you going to stop me then?
Oh,
Not. Don't worry. I mean, not that I wouldn't, but you aren't there yet.
Thank you. Maybe?
I wouldn't say no, but like, I don't think that's our relationship.
Fair.
Yeah.
You're also not cleared for kissing, operator.
I'm gonna try and smooch you next.
That I would pay to see.
Mm.
And I think Tula reaches a hand in her pocket sort of uncomfortably and just pulls out some pocket tater tots. So, thank you for this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell anyone else, okay?
Who else do you think who talks to me?
I don't know, that guy, and she points at Mason.
Exactly.
Hey, don't tell anyone else.
Wasn't even listening.
Thank you, Mason.
I loved that. All of that. Tryon, what are you rolling for that?
Well, I have this move called anything you can do, I can do better. So technically, I don't roll it. Tolu takes 2d, like plus 2 dice and 2 stress, but I was thinking maybe it was a reroll for the abysmal thing that just happened.
Interesting. All right, let me quickly take a look here at the outsider.
Can I also, sorry, you're taking a look at a thing, but if I could call this my third action, would that be, I don't know if that was helpful at all.
I was going to put that on the table.
Cool.
So this is when you assist your rival. So that's like inaction mostly.
Yeah.
When you're adding to their roll. I mean, you could. So it sounds like Tolu might be making a make a connection roll with you.
Mhm.
If you want to assist them in that, then Tolu could take plus 2 dice for that, and also 2 stress.
Unfortunately, but
Oh,
Yeah.
love it. So close to
I
Eclipse.
just stressed you out to
Yeah.
make you better.
I also would say that move, I think, is just a thing you can do. It doesn't need to be your downtime action, so you can also
Yeah.
make a connection and get some
Okay.
links with Tolu.
And I guess I would roll
You'd roll something.
empathize or defy.
I think that conversation smacked more of defy to me. Since it was mostly
Notes
threats.
of defiance.
Yeah.
So I have a check mark in that. A
Mhm.
little blue checky marky.
So you got
So that
1
means,
die,
like, 1 dice.
but you're not rolling 2 and taking the lower. You get 1 die. You could push yourself.
Fuck it, why not? I rolled a 3 and a 6.
Okay. Very good. That paid off. So you're gonna mark 2 stress because you pushed
Okay.
yourself, but you were gonna get 4 links with Tolu.
Nice.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
And then I am also rolling to make
Yeah.
a connection.
Mm-hmm.
with 2 extra dice.
Ooh, with 2 extra dice.
Mhm.
I don't even know if Google can handle that.
We're gonna find out.
I'm gonna call this. It feels confessy.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, and I
I
have
like that.
1 dot in that, so I'm gonna roll 3 dice.
3 dice.
Okay. No, okay. I want it to roll 3d6. It's gonna take a second. It'd be so much easier if I had actual dice here.
It'd be like that sometimes.
And do I take the highest?
Yeah.
It's a 6.
Right? 4 links with Tryon.
Ooh. So linked right now.
You are so linked.
You're
Which is
best
probably going to come in
friend.
handy because now that we have finished our downtime phase, we're going to start talking about our mission phase. So with our mission, you all, once again, are going to get to decide what mission you would like to go on. Now, currently, we have a lot of options because you have unlocked the 3rd readiness tier of the Bastion, which means that all 3 levels of mission are technically available for you. Now, obviously, the 3rd one is the last one. That's the end of this season. So
Mhm.
if you pick that one now, could be a short season, but then we just probably move on into season 2. That's staging a desperate counterattack against the Leviathans. This is technically only the 2nd mission you've been on. So you have the options in the first and the second tiers also. Whichever one seems more interesting to you all. And that's on a Sea of Stars 1 in the Character Keeper.
Since we recovered a fallen engine, do we want to instead hunt a Leviathan this time?
I think
I
we've
like
earned it.
Sure.
I think that's very fun.
I could
Hell
use a
yeah.
snack.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, you can absolutely do that as a treat. So, you get, we're going to make our engagement roll in a second. You get 1 die for missions of equal or lower tier to your readiness progress, which this is. So, you are always good as far as that is concerned. Now, we get to figure out our fortune roll, how many dice we're going to roll for this. So, there's always hope. The protagonists start with 1 die for every mission. So currently, we have 1. Is the mission particularly heroic or noble? Or does it reflect the worst parts of the protagonist? Now, we can all talk about this together, about the nature of this Leviathan hunt that you are going to go on. And that could potentially influence some of the answers to these questions.
I mean, my instinct is it noble for us to hunt our enemy? To a certain degree. But it also definitely brings out the worst in Troyan. So, you know...
There is that. It could
I
also
wasn't
be...
gonna say anything.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Called out.
I
So-
think it would be fun if it was an injured Leviathan. I think that would be fun if you were sent to hunt down a Leviathan that's already injured.
Now, here's the thing. I would not call that as a person, and I think Cogs would also probably say that is not a particularly noble endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
To ambush and assault an injured opponent.
I would
as-
add to. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I would add to that. I think, in the light of the recent conversation she's had with both Toby and Troyan now, Tolu is 100% like, this is just trying to prove herself. There's nothing noble about it. She's just like, nope, I'm going to go out and kill some stuff, and it's going to be badass.
Troyan wants to know what the science people want with a hurt Leviathan.
Yeah, I
like that. I hadn't considered the idea that it might be a capture mission, not a kill mission.
I didn't say capture, but it feels like a test.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of a capture mission now. Now that you've mentioned, now that you put the idea in my head.
If we're putting forth the capture mission, if the idea is we're bringing it in for study, I don't know if that's in a way heroic, because it's dangerous and we're risking our lives for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I will posit that there is a certain level of heroicness to that. However, it is still a injured Leviathan.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think that there is enough. Sorry, what's up, JT?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think with everything that Cogs knows both about Troyan and about the higher-ups who would probably order this mission, I think my vote is probably not heroic.
I think that's
If we're
probably
voting.
I think that there is enough doubt cast by the fact that Troyan wants to eat it, Tolu just wants to prove herself, and Cogs has reservations that even though, yeah, I think it is heroic that you are even willing to go out on this mission, it is not of a particularly heroic nature, or noble, I guess.
I would posit, at least from Chief's perspective, it's at least it so like one of it is going within the worst aspects of ourselves,
Mhm.
right? And his aspect, I guess we really haven't explored it too much, but I would say one of his worst aspects is his fear, and going after an injured Leviathan is a lot safer than fighting one that is
true.
Fully in that. So like he would be more, if given a mission to capture an injured one, that seems less dangerous than surviving an attack from one.
I think that's true, although I do think you've probably been active long enough to know that sometimes the most dangerous Leviathan is the hurt Leviathan.
Yeah. You know, a wounded animal type of
Yeah.
Wounded
situation.
animal doctrine.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Troyan will
Also,
throw
I have a
out
cat.
there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
He jumped into my lap.
Always, baby. I think Troyan would throw out there that this ain't gonna be easy, but either we take it or it becomes a snack for something other than me.
And I think actually that's a perfect opportunity for us to jump into your mission briefing in that sort of same auditorium setting that we had last time, where it is only the four of you. You might note that Grace is conspicuously absent. And General Swanson is once again up at the front of the room talking and has some graphics projected. Holographic data and maps and information that is being displayed behind him on the holographic display, the projector. We wish it was Ron Swanson. This is Hiram Swanson. No relation.
Look, it's
wait,
Ron Swanson in my head.
Wait, can he just be the same guy?
Nick
it
Offerman
just
fan cast for
is.
Hiram
If
Swanson.
you want to put that out there, that's fine. Hiram Swanson kind of sucks.
Aw.
I mean, for most of Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson kinda sucks.
Not wrong.
I mean, there's growth.
There's growth. There is growth.
Yeah,
and you know
but you
what?
can't-
Maybe the general can have some growth too. I think that's the correct
Yay.
attitude.
I don't know. All he's
Um,
done is yell at me.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah. But yeah, he is standing up at the front and he is giving his kind of his spiel. He says, 0600 hours we detected 0600 hours we detected fuck, I named this thing. What is it called? Tartarus. Yeah, sorry. 0600 hours we detected a trail of energy that read as abyssal. It read as Tartarus energy trailing out in space. We took a closer look with some of our instruments, and as far as we've been able to determine, we believe that we're closing in on a Leviathan that is injured. Exactly how it got hurt is unclear. Exactly how large it is, how old it is, unfortunately, is beyond our ability to tell.
So you could spot a wound, but not size?
We can smell blood in the water.
Would I be able to tell?
Interesting question. Like in what sense? Because basically, yeah, what they're going off of here is just that a blood trail, essentially.
Yeah. Would I be able to tell from the blood trail how big, how old? One of those things. I just want one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
At least not without getting up close and personal with the energy reading or the blood in question.
Okay. So it's a question I ask when we go on our little field trip. I got
That is entirely possible, yeah. It could also be a factor that comes up in our engagement conversation.
Yeah.
And he says, obviously, you're a man down for this assignment.
two.
He kind of scans the room. Grace is conspicuously absent.
You never replace Reed.
I'm not replacing Grace.
Grace isn't ostensibly dead.
Grace is not ostensibly dead. Grace is
Taking an enforced nap.
occupied.
Has it become standard that our team only goes out with 4 operators now?
Does seem to be working out that way.
2,208.
All right.
Hey, Chief, we're special.
Yeah, real special. Okay.
I have the utmost confidence in the 4 of you.
What about the
Aaron,
new
you
boy?
really need to work on that.
I'm sorry, operator.
Like
How about
the sarcasm.
Whatever you might be hearing in my tone that you think is sarcasm, you're mistaken.
Sure.
Well, should we get to launch bays and see what we can find, or what else do you have for us?
It's about all the information that is readily available, other than a rough approximation of a location we think seems to be hiding.
Oh, is the location familiar to anybody here? Not just me. Cogs and Chief, like.
It's a nearby cluster of dead planets.
Do you know, could you tell us, like, how recently dead?
That I can't say.
Okay. Have we flown by it before?
No.
Okay.
No.
They like to hide amongst corpses.
Operator, did you have a question?
what about the new boy?
Who's that?
The one I so handily told you to ground indefinitely and doesn't seem to be here. I can't think of any squadrons that would have taken him otherwise. Especially considering we're the one that's down a man.
You're referring to Operator Wild Hunt.
I think you know who I'm referring to.
Out of character, are you referring to Operator Wild Hunt?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just
Toby.
checking. Cool. He is quiet for a moment. And then when he speaks, he says, for a variety of tactical reasons, Operator Wild Hunt will not be joining you on this mission.
Practical reasons? Is he
I'm not-
scared? I bet he's scared.
I'm not a fan of interpersonal conflicts in my soldiers.
Oh, so since he started shit, he ain't allowed to fly with us. Got it.
Interpersonal conflict breeds competition and generally improves a performance.
Unless you're a cocky piece of shit who goes out and gets yourself eaten.
Okay, all of you, just calm down.
Who's
Just
calm?
calm
Who's
down.
not calm? Everyone's calm.
I'm
This is
very calm.
I can
calm.
feel your blood pressure rising. Everybody, calm down. This is
Chief, I don't have blood pressure.
congratulations. I have heart disease, you don't have blood pressure, and you eat things. That's not the point. The point is the boy's too green. He's never flown once in his damn life, and we're gonna go on a rescue mission. I don't care if we're down, man. I don't want some greenhorn in here messing everything up.
Well
Not
said,
me,
Chief.
right?
Oh, no, you're fine, Tolu.
Oh, good.
I've seen your records. I've seen you in the simulators. I at least know what you do when shit turns a little bit sour.
Ate
You
sour
took me-
shit.
Toby's been on no missions. Tolu's been on one mission.
Aha,
Technically-
One is
too.
better than none.
that's 100% increase.
And Tolu survived the one mission that she went on.
That is true. That is true. Well said, Chief. Any further questions?
Do we have any special equipment for this?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
We're gonna need a net.
Yeah, I'm open. What do we think would be fun? What do we think would be fun?
I want
Leviathan
harpoons.
capture equipment.
Big
Harpoons.
ass
I want harpoons.
Big
I want pointy
energy
sticks.
All right.
and
I like a
harpoons.
net.
All right.
I think, yeah, harpoons to like stop it and pull it, and then the net to like capture it.
Mhm.
Just drag it back with us.
Like,
Cool.
effectively give us rail guns that are harpoons.
Love that.
Yes,
Love that.
railgun harpoons.
I love that.
I just went to my happy place thinking about that.
He nods and says, "While we're speaking, your engines are being outfitted with harpoon tethers."
Love it. Great.
300
Someone's
115.
touching Ati.
Is that a problem?
I gotta go.
Interesting. I think when you stand up, he will say, he will kind of bark honestly before you reach the door. "Sit down, operator. You've assured us that your engine will not be an issue.
And I assure you that that engine has not had anything attached to it except me in a very long time. I would like to go and reassure the engine that it is not under attack."
And I think that it's about time we found out how safe it really is."
2,418.
All right.
Okay, enough of this dick measuring contest. Are we done here?
Oh, I think I'm in timeout.
Well, I can take, charge of this little kindergarten, I guess. Can we go? I honestly don't see the point of us sitting here.
In addition to the harpoon tethers, Chief, your engine is being outfitted with a gravity net.
Perfect. Love it.
And with all of that in mind, you're all ready to fly. Good luck out there.
You sounded like you almost meant it that time.
Have you been practicing, General?
This guy.
You're dismissed.
Bye.
Troyan is running down the hall, not even waiting for Mason, like is hauling ass.
Okay, before you haul ass, Chief wants to grab your arm.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I love this.
We are in the hallway. We are not in front of Hiram. I
Yeah.
refuse
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do this in front of him. What the hell are you fucking doing? We're in shit already. We don't need to piss him off.
Well, I don't care about him. He ain't in charge.
He might not be in charge of you. And then he looks back to Cogs and Izzy. Izzy, excuse me. Tolu. But there's some other people that you need to consider when you're part of this team.
Chief, you know who I'm considering right now? The poor people under your command who might get tossed out the airlock.
Is that a real possibility or is that a threat?
Yep. Nope. Real possibility. Let me go.
I want you to go calmly, and I want you to make sure that everything is smooth as butter.
You really don't
46.
remember me. Bye. Did you say 6, JT?
46.
46.
Oh.
Ooh.
Normally he says hunky dory.
Ah. Yeah, I literally like bear my like I don't think Troyan has been outwardly aggressive to anybody, but in anger she bares her teeth, and they're a little more fangy than, you know, human teeth should be, at Chief, and shakes him off and just eyeballs Mason, like clocks him as like, we're going, and waits for him now to run down to the bay.
He doesn't run, but he keeps an eyesight of you.
Okay.
Chief,
He's like a serial killer in a slasher movie. He's just
slow and deliberate.
He's good at his job.
dude, he is good at his job.
Chief, with all due respect, Troyan is not the only one who's pissed off Hiram recently.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there in this situation. You have to realize there's a certain hierarchy beyond the military.
I just don't know that our team is well suited to the concept of hierarchies.
I'll keep that in mind. But for now, we've got a mission, and I need to make sure that you all come home. That's all I care about. You understand?
Just don't let that be the weight on your shoulders while you're out there.
A&W's got my back. They always have. They always will.
Hey, I'm here too. Guess we'll head on down.
You're gonna do great, Tolu.
Thanks.
All right. So, with all of that being said, I think, given the tone of that conversation, I'm willing to say that I think your defiance of Hiram, of the general, does kind of push this into that more heroic territory. There's like, I think it's not a great assignment. You're not super happy to be going on it, but you are willing to follow those orders. So, started with 1 die. That brings us up to 2. Is this following through on any details from your investigation? That was, 2 weeks ago? So I don't remember anybody coming up with anything specific that would apply to this. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't
Cox
remember
was
what
looking-
I uncovered. I've been the person looking into these things.
You have
but-
been. Yeah.
You were researching the brass and why they aren't doing the offensive you thought they should be doing by now.
Yeah, I was. I'm focusing on why they're not looking at the bigger picture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. And basically what you found was that, like, they kind of believe that this is a hopeless war, but they're not willing to let people lose hope.
Yeah.
You know what? That's interesting because this kind of runs directly contrary to that.
Mhm.
Like, what would be the point of capturing an injured Leviathan if you're just kind of going through the motions? So I'll give you a die for that too. That's 3. Does this mission determine the fate of a friend? I don't think so.
No.
Are troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission? Kind of.
Love it.
A little bit.
Love it.
A little bit. So that brings us down to 2. The mission does not exceed the current tier of the investigation track, so we don't have to worry about that. And are there other elements that you want to consider? I think you did all come up with some cool gear for this mission. I like that. I will give you a die for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's up to 3. If there are any other elements that you want to consider or put forth, I am open to that.
Can we put forth the like infinitesimal progress Tolu just made with her engine?
There was a glowing thing.
Yeah.
There was a glowing thing, but I think that's expressed with the links.
Okay.
Well, I think we're probably good to roll then with all that being said. And I think last time you made Chief roll it as the the commander currently, the fill-in commander.
I can roll again.
Yeah, if you'd be willing to roll 3d6.
3. I should roll like 5 because that's how many are in my hand.
Hey, Will. Am I rolling to quote see how many red shirts we lose?
I wasn't
Thank you,
planning
Alex.
on it. That is very good. That is very good.
I think if Ahti hears me screaming in my head, don't eat him, don't throw him, don't do it.
Yeah, the problem is that this is a d6 system, so we can't roll a d4. Sorry.
Yeah, but I can roll a d6.
Okay, I'll tell you what I got real quick.
Yeah,
though.
please.
I got a 1, a 3, and a 4.
All right. It's a mixed result, so you're in a risky position when the action starts. The plan is holding together just barely. You will need to take steps right now to avoid disaster. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So I do kind of like the idea that this maybe factors in to some of this lead in. I do like to kind of think that when you get to the bay, Troyan, there's a little bit of chaos. I think you maybe hear some screams, some shouts of alarm. And I think when you walk in, once again, if you could just give a brief description of Ahti.
Ahti is like the mechs from Appleseed, but like non-Newtonian, like Escher, Cthulhu inspired. They don't make sense. The proportions are wrong, and they don't stay the same. But vaguely humanoid shaped, multiple arms, like inky black that kind of shimmers, but once you get out into the darkness of space, like essentially becomes active camouflage. Like it's not reflecting what's behind it, but is so like if it's not moving, you're not seeing this. It's yeah.
Okay, and because I think it's a fun suggestion, roll a d6.
Okay, I'm gonna roll one of the ones that never rolls well for me. Ironically, it's the blood splatter dice. And what do you know? I rolled a 2.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I think when you bolt into the hangar, you're still kind of on that walkway, that like sort of tiered walkway that's like overlooking the hangar. Yeah. But I think when you look down, you can see that Ahti is broken out of the like bands that normally holds him in place, and currently is kind of crouched over, has one weird shifting dark hand ending in claws pinning one of the crew members to the ground, and then like another hand holding one by their leg in the air. But nobody looks dead yet.
No, I think we see a very comical, like this should not happen on these grates slide of combat boots, and Troyan point and go, drop it gently down. Like a dog.
All right. I think that this is a controlled position standard effect. I'm going to say great effect because you do have a bond with Ahti. So you are going to have to make an action roll for this. let me know what you want to do.
Express?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that makes sense.
Did we get rid of any stress, by the way?
Nope, because nobody did that during the the downtime.
Okay, we're rolling one dice. Because otherwise I will eclipse so fast.
Yeah.
I rolled a 5, actually. We love to see it in this impossible to read
We
dice.
do, yeah, we do love to see that. That's very good. Okay, yeah. So I think Ati freezes, very much like an animal caught doing something that it should not be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that because that's a mixed result, they will kind of like sort of, when you keep pointing at them and you keep saying drop it, they will kind of like retreat sort of back into like their bay. They like lift the claws off the other one. They drop the crew member that they were holding.
I said gently.
Yeah, but it's not gentle. It's not
How
gentle.
high up are they?
I don't think very, because I think Ati was kind of crouched over, but I think when they drop it, I think you hear a kind of a crack and a scream of pain, and it's pretty clear that the crew member's leg is broken when they hit the deck.
I will go, good girl. Sit.
And it does. I think you can see that the harpoon tether was successfully attached.
Oh, good.
But yeah. And already the other crew members are like moving to this person on the ground, this injured person on the ground, and kind of like dragging him away. They're all kind of like looking at Ati with fear on their faces, like at any point it could lunge forward and eat them. And I think it's probably fair to say that that's around the point where the rest of you can arrive. So, especially I think for you, Chief, you walk in, and these are people you know. These are your crew members. You see one of them kind of being dragged away with like an injury, and you see Troyan standing there, commanding Ati, who is looking very chastised.
Try and get that thing under control.
It is under control, and it has a name. Thank you.
Team, is anyone dead?
No, sir.
120.
I think Chad's got a broken leg, but
God damn it. Okay.
Not Chad.
Get Chad to the infirmary now. Get his leg looked at. Is everything strapped on, whatever? Are we good to go?
You're green across the board, Chief.
Okay. Are we done here, Troyan? Can we go? Can we get going?
Oh, Troyan's like leaning up against the head of Ati from the catwalk, like Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park leaning against the Triceratops, just like, hey, baby, look at you. You dropped them. Like, oh. And I think she'll pop her head up. We're good. I promise treats.
Remember, this is a recovery mission.
Alive does not mean whole.
It's already not whole.
Okay. Team, get to your mechs. Cogs, I want you to be on support. Tulu, stick close. Troyan, bring back most of it.
Okay.
Most. And by most, I don't mean 51%.
I brought at least 78% of that one back.
Chief, if I may make a minor request regarding the return time of this mission, supposing we are successful in capturing it. If I may, just for a moment, take a look at the wounds before we bring it back. I have a sneaking suspicion about something, and I'd like to gather data.
Yeah. We'll see what it's like when we're out there, okay? Unless
I'm just
What?
once it's subdued, if we feel like maybe we have time to dilly dally, maybe Tolu could run a drill or two after it's under control.
I can punch it.
Please don't.
Okay.
I mean, before it's subdued, you can hit it as much as you want. I would just prefer to get a look at it. That's all.
it all depends on how things end up. I
Understood.
will not make the promise that we will, but I will make the damn best effort to try. Does that work?
2,420.
Oh, great. So either we die or we don't. Okay.
I
I
think
can't tell
Troyan's
you
climbed
that.
into the. I think Troyan's climbed into the cockpit and is sending Tolu a message saying, "You're gonna hit it. And you're gonna hit it hard, and and then when we're done, we're gonna talk about what you did right or wrong." Like,
Totally sound text back. Sounds good. LOL.
Perfect. And I think as you launch, there's a countdown as the field kicks back on, the one that makes it possible for you all to just sort of eject out into the vacuum of space without sucking all the oxygen out of the bay. You get the countdown. Suddenly you are out in the cold dark of space. Tolu, I think there is still that moment of panic for you as you're kind of trying to orient yourself, but there is no up, there is no down. There's just eternity in every single direction. But eventually, you remember your simulation training. You're able to write yourself.
I imagine Tolu floating into into screen, into view, just like upside down. Just like,
Ahti comes over and like flips. Like,
Just a quick tail slap.
yeah.
Cool. And yeah, the Delphi is kind of just hanging there, quote unquote, above you in space. And you have your coordinates programmed in. And when we get back from our break, I think we'll see where you all have ended up in your encounter with the injured Leviathan based on your engagement roll. Don't go away. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. But we will see you very soon.
Throw some bread.
It's us.
Did
We're
you just
back.
take us live on that?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Bringing us live on bread.
We're
Ooh.
back.
I'm bread.
Bread.
The thing I
Bread.
Get that
can't eat.
bread.
Ah.
It could be gluten-free bread.
I made
Gluten-free
pretzels
bread.
yesterday. Pretzels is bread.
Pretzels is bread.
Not something I think about
Pretzels.
very often.
Pretzels
Is
is bread.
bread. Why would you say something so controversial and so brave?
Just like my
Shrimps is
grandmother always
bugs.
said.
Pretzels is bread.
Pretzels is bread.
Shrimps is
Shrimps is
bugs.
bugs.
Shrimps is bugs.
Pretzels is bread.
Shrimps is bugs.
Shrimps is bugs. Sand is bones. The whales eat the bones.
Is sand
Turned into
bones?
sand.
Hold on. Wait. Can we
Sand
circle back
is
to sand is bones?
Technically,
Sand
depending
is...
on what kind of sand, it's
Bones.
Does
if
that
it's
mean
a coral
sand-
sand, it is
Can I-
bones of.
Bone glass?
Wait, why is it the first thing that Google suggests after sand is?
Because it's from a Dropout Smarty Pants episode.
Oh.
Yes.
It's a very good bit called "No Thank You, the Ocean."
I could have told you that.
Yep.
In a factory downtown.
Hi,
Oh my
everyone.
God.
I hope you're
Hey,
having
guys.
fun.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. We're back. And speaking of "No Thank You, the Ocean," we're gonna dive right into the action. And so I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a roll because I think that would be fun. And despite my earlier protests, there are 4 of you, so I'm gonna roll a d4.
Other dice
Um,
exist.
Other dice do technically exist, just for me.
I was about
Um,
to say because I wasn't allowed to roll
The
a d4
fanciest
for
dice.
That
red
is true.
shirts.
That is true. I have proprietary control of all other dice in this system. That is fun. Where we are going to begin in this conflict is with our very own chief. And we're going to begin with our very own chief, specifically because in the moment that you came upon this cluster of dead planets, which are now kind of surrounding you, obviously very far off. The distance between them is vast, but I think in the shadow of one specifically, very small, maybe even a dwarf planet, that is just kind of a rocky, lifeless landscape. Chief, you saw the outline of something surprisingly small, kind of darting around. It had kind of a luminescence to it, and it looked sort of almost ghostly, almost phantom-like. And obviously, you would be drawn to investigate this.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
imagine your surprise when you kind of followed this spectral figure and rounded a corner, only to discover that this spectral figure that's giving off light is currently dangling from a connection to a much larger creature. A much larger, more horrific creature. Maybe half the size of the Delphi, so not on the larger end of Leviathans that you have seen, but still very much much bigger than any of your engines. And it is mostly mouth filled with sharp teeth and a kind of a tendril extending from a head above milky, lifeless eyes, like 2 different rows of 3 milky, lifeless looking eyes. There's this little phantom creature. Whether it is an extension of that or something else entirely is impossible to say. So,
Question.
yes,
Is there a naming system for Leviathan?
there could be. I haven't come up with one. Do you have a name?
I mean, this is a lanternfish.
It's
Yes.
a lanternfish.
Yeah.
It fully is, yeah.
So, like, my instinct is that have we encountered something like this before?
I think you've maybe heard stories. Actually, you probably have.
Okay, so I think immediately my instinct response, even if Chief isn't aware of this specific like pattern for this type of Leviathan, just human instinct and knowledge of what the oceans of Earth were like, he immediately sends a message to everyone on comms. Okay, we got a lanternfish. Be careful. This thing's trying to trick us to go right into that maw.
And in fact, I think you find yourself in kind of a rough position at the moment, because as you round it and you see what it is, you take what it is in. You take in what it is, and you give that warning to the rest of your team. It darts for you. It lunges for you.
Yeah, Will, how familiar am I with lanternfish, considering this is similar to how Troyan hunted?
That is a great point, and probably also very familiar with these. You've probably seen these before. And I think you probably know that this is definitely on the smaller side. This is maybe, you don't really know, nobody really knows like where new Leviathans come from. As far as you're aware, they don't reproduce, but this could be a baby.
Yeah, I will relay that information. It's a little one, but don't be fooled.
So you said it's lunging for us.
It is, yeah. It is,
Okay.
yeah. So I think in this case, I think you might have to resist some consequences here.
I'm assuming sun, since it's violence and fear.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, and I have 2 in sun, so I get to roll 2 of them dice.
Yeah.
Now, is it just going after me alone?
Currently, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you followed its hunting, and now it is going after you.
Okay, I'm just making sure nothing I have. I'm looking at all the abilities, all the things that I can do. And I'm not helping anyone, and that's my whole shtick. How dare you make me help myself?
Listen, blame the D4.
Oh, okay. I will blame that D4 because I got a 1 and a fucking 2.
Wow.
That's rough, buddy. That's rough. So, you are going to take 4 stress from that.
Can I take harm instead?
Interesting. Yeah, I think so, right? You can, is that a thing you can trade out?
Well,
No, rolls is
so
written.
you reduce or avoid the consequence, and take 6 stress. Oh wait. You're right. Okay. I either reduce or avoid whatever consequence you were going to give me, and I take 6 minus whatever my highest was. So I am going to take 4.
Okay. All right. I think that is fair. I would let you take it as harm if you want, but I do think it's going to be level 2 harm, since it would be 4 stress.
Okay, I'll take the stress instead.
Okay, cool.
Everyone should know Chief is 1 away from eclipsing.
Yeah.
So it lunges at me.
Yeah, it lunges at you, and I think you kind of find yourself engulfed in its mouth. At least maybe like you, I'm picturing, and you can tell me what you think. Well, no, actually, you tell me what you think. It lunges at you with this giant maw, row of teeth. You are not going to be able to get away from it entirely. But what are you doing in that moment?
I think because it was so poor of a roll, what has happened is the thinnest part of A&W is its waist, and I think I have been chewed in between, and you can see the top half because I've like tried to boost my way backwards away from this giant maw, and my legs are now stuck within it, and I am in this creature's mouth, and I'm looking up at everyone like, okay, team, any moment.
Leap into action.
Oh, yeah. Who wants to do what? I need to know what actions people are taking. I will say that I think as you all kind of come upon this scene, yes, you see Chief half in, half out of the mouth. You also see kind of a long, open gash along one side of this creature that is leaking this kind of inky black substance, not unlike what you have seen occasionally. This sounds gross, and I'm sorry, but not unlike what you've occasionally seen exiting Troyan.
Exiting.
Can
You had to search for that word.
Sounded better than leaking. I don't know.
can Kid Carmente use their dual clock blades to sort of try to pry this creature's mouth open enough for Chief to escape?
I think so. I think I'm very much open to that. I think that's going to be standard effect. I think that's going to be risky, not desperate currently. So, what action do you want to roll for that?
I mean, I want to say either flow or defy. Probably defy. I'm gonna roll 2d6, take the lowest either way, but those are the two that make the most sense to me on this list.
I'm open to that. I mean, there is possibly, this system is all about justifying rolling things. Yeah, well,
I could offer you some ham-handed explanation for analyze, which I have one tip in.
This system is all about ham-handed explanations, trying to roll better things.
The ham-handed explanation being that Cogs probably understands better than anyone. Chief cannot lead us if Chief is worried about saving his own hide, and that is not very conducive to the rest of them performing that great.
All right. I'll allow it. My question is, are you transcending? Because you do have an extra die if you transcend in Analyze.
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
Who doesn't
and
like
your transcendence,
transcending?
I believe your transcendence track does reset because that would be from the last mission.
Yes, yeah, okay. So
you only have that first, and honestly, that's per action. So you're transcending before you take this action. Have we talked about what it looks like when Cogs transcends?
We have, but I can rehash it for you if you'd like.
Yeah, maybe just in the briefest terms.
Carmente, giant clock woman, when Carmente is transcended, a bunch of phantom antivortas sort of start flowing in and out as every conceivable action is pulled into one point of time, and that point being whichever the most successful for Cogs at this moment is.
Yeah, I love that. So you have 2 dice, but I do know, Troyan, you were going to ask about assisting?
Yes, I was wondering if I could assist by launching a harpoon into the open wound and yanking and maybe forcing it to open its mouth.
Yes, that is absolutely something you can do. You do not have a link, so this is just going to be a regular assist.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And
can I point out something, because I am going to read and know these rules. Okay.
Please.
So, while transcended, when a pilot's actions aligns with their engine's impulse, or they accept a poison promise based on the impulse, they mark XP, and that action does not deplete their transcendence track. I'm saying this because I looked at what Antivorta's impulse is, and it's calculating. Is this a calculating impulse to save Chief?
I think based on Cheat's explanation, absolutely it is. Think that it absolutely is. So, yeah, I love that, and I think that makes total sense. So you are gonna, so you don't have to spend that first transcendence, which is very good news. But you are also, you are also getting assisted. You, Troyan, are gonna describe how you are assisting, and then you are gonna mark 1 stress on your character sheet, and Cogs is gonna take an extra die.
I have a quick question, rules question.
Yeah.
It says whenever you act with your impulse, they mark an XP. Is that on the playbook, or is that on the specific attribute with the action I'm rolling?
Ooh, interesting question. I don't know off the top of my head. Let me
Okay, that's fine.
look into
we
that.
can We can address it later. I will.
Sure.
I
If
will
I
mentally
remember,
denote
if I
this.
remember, it can be either or.
Ooh.
They mark XP, and that action does not deplete their transcendence track yet. That would
Okay.
seem to suggest to me that it would be regular XP.
Okay, that is what I will mark then. And I roll
Okay.
3 because Troyan is assisting me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I dart in and get up underneath it and shoot the harpoon right into the open wound.
That third die really helped because that's a 6 is my number 1 die.
Oh yes. All right. Very cool. Yeah, you apply the clock blades in between. You pry the clock blades in between the rows of jagged teeth, and you start prying it open. I think I'm picturing it very like kind of sustained, not like an immediate burst of energy. And slowly, you've created enough of a gap in this thing that the chief, you and A&W are able to slip out of this.
As Cogs settles on a course of action, the ghosts sort of begin to all flow in the sort of delay as the single action is chosen.
Okay. Very, very cool. Chief, you are able to pry yourself out a little bit worse for wear, close to eclipsing, but still holding on for now. And there is now currently a harpoon fixed into the wound of this thing. I do think that action Cass is that action Troyan is going to draw its attention and its ire. I do think that you are now going to be the target of its anger, and it is going to sort of flip itself around in that way that fish do too
Mhm.
quickly, weirdly
Mhm.
quickly.
It's
No,
fun.
thank you, the ocean.
No, thank you, the ocean.
Thank you, the ocean.
Indeed. No, thank you, space ocean.
Spotion, if you
And-
will.
Spotion.
I will.
I think when we have Ocean here with us, we have to say Spotion.
Yes,
Yeah.
ocean, just to not confuse.
It's important to
things.
distinguish.
That's the twin engine of ocean.
Ocean.
Oh no.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's okay. I can take 2 stress and eclipse. It'll be fine.
I don't think in this case that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to spin around quickly enough, and I think it is going to chomp down on you. I think you are going to take harm. I think you are going to take level 1 harm. Troyan.
Okay. Okay. How do I mark that on this sheet? Okay.
So you have
Bottom
have
left.
harm, yeah, bottom
Uh-huh.
left, and you just mark down something that that you have experienced. So like level 1 is pretty lesser. This could be like scraped, bruised, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Could be like a gash, anything like that. I don't think it got a firm hold, but it definitely kind of flipped on its axis and darted towards you. You still have the harpoon in it, but it does kind of chomp down briefly on.
I'm gonna call that
Ati.
nibbled.
Nibbled is good. I like that.
Yeah.
And that is going to reduce the effectiveness of actions that you are taking until you are healed. You can spend armor if you want to resist that, but you can also hold on to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that for a minute.
Okay. I think that makes sense. You can also use links to shrug off harm, just so you know. So if anybody wanted to spend a link, they could do that. If you have a link on Troyan, I know that there are a few.
I'm gonna spend a link.
Aw,
Okay.
Yeah, we had a moment earlier. And
we
Tulu's feeling
did.
like she needs to try less hard, but also prove herself.
Okay, interesting. So it does say here you spend a link with a transcended ally to allow them to
Ooh.
ignore the effects of a single
Yeah.
harm tag until their transcendence ends.
Can't do that. I'm so sorry.
Well, your transcended ally.
Oh,
so
okay, yes, I can.
I'm not
but Troyan's not
transcended.
currently transcended.
Oh,
so
no,
once
yeah.
Troyan
Take
transcends,
me back.
you can do it.
Then we can
But
do this. Order of
In the
operation.
meantime, what is Tolu doing? Because you're the only one who has not acted so far, basically.
Yeah, Tolu, I think, was just gonna get in there and try and irritate that wound, but sees Troyan go for it and take this nibble, and instead is like oh, and is going to rush forward and grab the little bulby thing and just try and yank it backwards to
yeah, I love
open
that.
its little mouth, I guess.
I love that. That's so fun. What action do you want to take for that?
This feels like another defy.
I can see that. I can see defy. I think that makes sense. I think that this is standard effect. I'm going to say that it is risky. It's not desperate. So this is just a normal straight up defy roll.
Okay, and I don't have any dice, so that means I'm going to roll 2 and take
You
the
are.
lower again. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Just gotta pop open my dice app here.
And there was actually, hold on, sorry, while I'm thinking about it, Jeet, clear 1 stress because you received an assist
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
from sync ratio.
Cool. Done.
Ooh, that's a 2.
All right. Okay, that's rough. That is rough. I think in this case, you are. Ooh, yeah, all right. I'm gonna go. Okay. I think this. You grab the tendril thing and you yank back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do that, the thing, like, you feel the jaws starting to loosen once again because you're pulling back on this thing. But then the we'll call it an antenna because that's basically what it is, starts to twine up your arm
Cool.
and starts to like enwrap you. And I think in that moment you realize that it's prehensile,
yeah.
which you weren't previously aware of. So that is going to wrap around you, and that's going to affect your positioning moving forward
Okay.
because this thing has you in its grip.
And it's tenderly thing, yeah.
Yes. Everyone has done at least one thing. Who would like to do the next thing? There is one harpoon sticking out of this thing. It has chomped down on Ati, and it is currently kind of restraining Bumblebee.
I would like to set up a teammate to. So I'm assuming, Cogs, you still haven't fired, right?
Fired what?
Your harpoon?
Oh, yes. No.
Okay. I think harming this thing is the best way to get it to let go of everyone. So I want to use my perceive to basically set up calculations on what is the best. A&W is not technically a combat mech. It is a support mech that is meant to give analysis to everyone else. And that's basically what I want to do. So I want to set up for Cogs to be able to use that harpoon gun by doing a whole analysis over this lanternfish. Before I do that, I am going to transcend because we're in bad shape if I don't, basically.
Yep.
And the way that A&W transcends is you see a Ankh. For those not familiar, it's the cross with the hoop over the top. Start to glow from his back, and it seemingly just this golden light erupts and becomes solid like gold, and now looks like he's crucified on this Ankh, and lifts up and says, "Okay, this is not happening on my watch. Everyone, get your shit together." And he starts to perceive. And now I have 2 dice because I'm transcended. Hooray. And if this is successful, Cogs, you get an additional die on your next action, whatever it is.
I have an idea. It's not harpoon related, but I think you're gonna like it.
It's not harpoon related.
I want it to be harpoon related, but
You
okay.
want it to be harpoon related.
Well, could be good either way.
Okay. I got a 3 and a 5.
Okay, awesome. So 5 is high enough that you can do it. Jeet, you are either going to get increased positioning or increased effect on your next action roll. So if we want to throw to you with the results of that, Chief is now transcended. Cogs is now transcended. What is it you wanted to do, Carmente?
Carmente would like to, once again, using the swords like a couple butcher's knives, is going to attempt to, quote unquote, prep this fish and is going to try to cut the antenna off.
Okay, all right. I love that. I love that a lot. You are gonna have, I think we'll say your position is still risky, but your effect is going to be great instead of standard.
Okay.
So what are we rolling for this? Do you want to stick with Defy or do you want to do something else? Or sorry,
Honestly,
last time you rolled Analyze.
I did roll Analyze last time. I think this time I do roll Flow for this.
Okay, and you are transcended, so you do have a die in that.
Yes, I do. Yes, okay. Big money, no whammy. That's a 5.
Hell yeah. All right. Cool. So that's mixed, but yeah, you have great effect. So 100% as you do this, well, what does it look like? You succeed.
I think the data begins to sort of flow into Carmente's pilot cockpit. Cogs is sort of organizing it rapidly. With the other hand, just a flick of... It's a junky cockpit. It's got parts from all over the Delphi in it that Cogs stole. And he just sort of yanks a chain and Carmente simply flashes forward with sword out straight through the base of the antenna.
All right. Very
It is
cool.
going to begin to set up a harpoon shot on the other side of the fish.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. So you slash through the antenna. The antenna starts to float freely through space. Tolu, you kind of feel it like tighten on you momentarily, and then it starts to loosen, and it loses any rigidity that it had whatsoever. It's still wrapped around you, but you can cast it off very easily if you want to. Because you achieved great effect with that, I think the Leviathan, the lanternfish, as we're calling it, ceases menacing Ati and actually is going to try to dart away, like it's going to run away from you, because it just was so injured. It just lost its primary method of hunting. It's panicking, which is not something you should do when menacing a predator. So I am curious what Ati is going to do, since you are tethered to it as it tries to run away from you.
So, I don't know how many of you grew up fishing. Sometimes when you're small and you're on a kid's pole and you're pulling in a 15-pound catfish, this is a thing, and you go in the water with it and you get dragged a few feet, but then you either let go of the pole and you lose your Minnie Mouse pole, or you do what I did and you yank real hard because that's your brand new fucking Minnie Mouse pole. And so I think Ati Troyan is going to wrap the harpoon cord around the arm and start yanking and just rolling it back, and then shoves a hand up in the wound to like rip more open to try and disable it.
Yeah, I feel that. You are okay. Very cool. I like that a lot. It's trying to get away from me. Are you transcending?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm
Good
gonna have
choice.
to.
All right. So you are transcending. So since we've done a brief description of that for everybody else, do you want to remind us what that is for Ati?
I don't honestly remember what I said last time. I probably should listen to that. It's awful. Ati expands and like becomes less corporeal is a good word, and like all like the black icky goo just like starts to expand, the arms unfold, and just like as you're watching them wrap the harpoon cord around all 4 arms, it's like every bad dream you've ever had of that amorphous shadow in the corner of your bedroom.
And now you are going to have reduced effect unless this is the point where Tolu wants to spend a link.
I
To
will
let you
spend a
ignore that.
link.
Okay.
Sweet.
So mark that off, and as long as you are transcended, Troyan, you are no longer feeling the effect of that wound.
Okay.
So you do that. Let me take a quick glance at your.
Yeah.
This is pretty fierce, so I would say that it gives you a bonus die. I don't think it's particularly calculating.
No.
So I think you're still gonna have to spend a transcendent action on this. But what do you want to roll?
I don't know. Blow, maybe?
Flow could work. Flow could definitely work. I think. Yeah, I would say. I mean, Flow or Defy are
Yeah.
obviously the obvious ones, but I think either one
Yeah.
of those works.
I think flow.
Okay, cool. So you have 1 die in that currently.
Yeah.
You are going to be. I think this is going to be actually pretty controlled because you have this thing literally on a tether, and it's
Mhm.
also kind of panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Your effect is going to be standard because
Okay.
Tolu helped you out.
So how many dice
You-
am I rolling? 3?
1.
Oh, 1. But I'm transcended, so not 2.
Oh, sorry. Yes, two dice base. I mean, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence as a storyteller if I didn't offer you a poison promise.
If I take 2 stress, I eclipse.
You don't have to
And
accept it.
I-
So push yourself as take 2 stress. Poison
Yeah.
promise, you don't have to do that. You don't have to take stress. You can get a bonus die for taking the poison promise.
Do I have to decide about whether I'm going to take it before I hear what the promise is?
No, I'll tell you what the promise is. It's pretty. I mean, you are the easiest character to offer a poison promise to because the poison promise is you eat it.
you eat it.
Yeah.
I
Or in
eat
this particular case, you have intent to eat it, so you are going to kill it. You are not necessarily going to capture it alive.
Oh no, we're gonna risk it. We're gonna risk it for the biscuit here. 2 dice,
Okay. 2 dice.
and I am transcended, so only my rival can assist me, and other foes cannot interfere. Okay, cool.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's mine.
This one's mine. Yeah.
Yep.
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Yeah, that's all you need. So fully, yeah. I mean, there is like a retraction mechanism on the harpoon tether, I think. Love that. But I feel like you're mostly brute forcing this because this thing is like half the size of the Delphi. So it is significantly bigger than you, but you are still hauling it back by this barbed harpoon that is sticking out of the side. And as it gets close to you, it's fighting you every inch of the way. You kind of just dig your claws in, and I'm picturing it ripping a gash. That's what you said?
Well, I'm reaching into the wound that's already there and ripping it wider to try and disable it.
Right.
Kind of like a whale eating, or a shark eating on a whale corpse.
Okay. Very cool.
Well, snack time.
Yeah, you pull it closer, more of that inky black substance starts leaking out. I think anyone who is observant can maybe even see some of that inky black substance joining the inky black substance that already makes up Ati's physical being.
Hey.
It's
Mhm.
fine,
Don't
probably.
worry about it. It's fine.
I would say you hear over the radio from Chief, "Don't eat it all."
Please leave some for me to analyze.
I think
Ati's
If-
busy.
if I can jump in,
Yeah, please.
Uh-huh.
my second action. I think Tolu is watching this thing sort of come apart and wants to help further disable it, and sort of panics, and with the like little tentacle-y thing around her arm, tries to whap it in the eye. Just really going for a blinding situation here, and just like, pow.
Hell yeah. I think it has. I'm trying to remember what I said. I think it has 12 eyes.
It does have 12 eyes.
All right, cool.
Going for the one
Hello,
that looks
Raiders.
the least milky.
Oh, look at that. Hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
Welcome on in. We're playing Girl by Moonlight, God Complex. Our friends here are piloting mechs made from the corpses of dead gods, fighting a lanternfish kaiju space monster.
Mine's made from the
That's what's
corpse of
happening.
2 gods.
That's true. That is true.
I've eaten a lot.
A god sandwich, if you will.
God sandwich. Hell yeah. All right, Tolu, I love that. I think in this case, your position is going to be controlled because literally you are controlling this thing. And it has 12 eyes, so I might say the effect is somewhat limited.
Fair,
But-
understandable.
But yeah, I think that is, I like the idea a lot. What do you want to roll for it?
I think I'm gonna roll. Can I call this express? Because she's expressing frustration with the idea, with the fact that her idea didn't work the first time around, and she just got kind of swooped up.
You know what? I do think that fits because this is not a particularly effective plan. So it does very much feel like you're operating on emotion and
It's
instinct.
100% like I can help too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's fair. I also notice you don't have any dice in that.
Yeah, I keep choosing things without dicing them. So we'll see what happens.
It feels very true to the character.
Yeah, that's it. I'm playing the character, guys. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Can this be a desperate roll for Tolu because Tolu is desperate?
That's not how it works, unfortunately.
I tried. I
I
tried.
appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna roll 2. Take the lower. The lower is a 3.
Yeah,
Sometime
I
I'm
think
gonna get something that works. It's gonna one of these days.
It's gonna happen.
absolutely.
It's gonna happen.
You swing this weird tentacle thing around and you do bap it in one of its eyes, which it reacts, like it closes that eye. I think it recoils from the effect. I think it recoils from the effect. 3 is pretty rough. 3 is a failure. So I do think that's gonna make the situation a little bit worse. I will give you the opportunity to resist consequences. And I think in this particular case, I would like you to roll stars because you are resisting panic and social pressure.
Fair. So what does that mean?
So that means sort of similar. You roll the dice that you have in the first column under stars,
Okay.
which I also notice is
also
empty.
0. I am
Yep.
so good at this game. All right.
You did
That
kind of pick the
is-
playbook that's like, you're bad at this game.
Yeah, that's what's great. I love it. And I don't have
Yeah.
to be good at this game. That's a 6 and a 5 though. So
Oh yes. All right, that's a 5. So that's very good. So it's 6 stress minus 1 or minus what you roll. That's a 5. So you're going to take 1 stress.
ooh, getting real close to eclipse here.
That seems to be a theme.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Cool. So you're going to take 1 stress from that. It's not very effective, and that doesn't feel great because you kind of just flew off the handle and did a thing, and it didn't really result in anything. But you're not being too hard on yourself because you only take 1 stress from that.
Like she's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Well, next time.
Well, you'll get him next time, champ. Chief, you have not done anything in a while.
Yeah, I think we've gone around full circle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. 1 level of stress will get me Eclipse, so that's fun. Well, I have to roll for that. We'll see how that goes.
Mhm.
I want to rely on the Engine Virtues and Impulse system because that gets me extra die and make it so I don't have my thing go down.
Yes.
And A&W's, his virtue is being clever. His impulse is being sentimental. I don't know what sentiment I can get out of this exact moment, but I think I can be clever. So, what I'm going to do, LaGuardian really likes to help people. Did Troyan get hurt? Troyan has 1 level of harm?
Troyan does have 1 level of harm.
Oh wait, that doesn't work because you just started. You did this one's mine, didn't you? Damn it. Okay.
I did. I
can
cannot be
only be
assisted. Yeah.
Just by Tolu.
Well, okay, that's just assist though. That's not setup.
Yeah, I can take setups, but the only
Okay.
person who can actively assist me is Tolu.
I ask because when my transcendent abilities bolstering presence, when I assist or set up a teammate, that you can mark 1 segment in your recovery clock. So not only can I make things better for you, you could heal a little bit better. I am all for that. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna set you up again. Effectively, A&W is going to start moving farther back away from this monster, and I think because I have the net, can I try aiming the net to effectively, it's not really going to capture it, but I think it will confuse it, and I find that to be clever, to try and confuse my foe.
I agree. I do like that. And I think there is a potential here for it to capture it. I think the gravity net, my imagination for what it is it kind of collapses in on itself when it hits its target and it activates. It kind of collapses in on itself and just like fully immobilizes whatever it is wrapped around in that moment.
Okay.
So I really like that. You are setting up Troyan.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means, Troyan, you can mark 1 segment on your recovery clock. I just looked at setup, so you might have to remind me.
So setup, what it says specifically is you set up another character with your action. If you achieve it, any team member who follows up gets, well, I guess it's any team members, but I'm specifically trying to set up Troyan.
Yeah.
Who follows up gets a +1 effect on or improved position.
Cool. Very cool. What do you want to roll for this?
I think I think I want to take advantage of the fact that I have up 1 in perceive, and then there's also transcendence perceive. I'm effectively using my sensors to kind of calculate. Maybe analyze works better for that, because I can still use clever and roll 2 dice if I do that.
Yeah, I think you can make either. I think you make a case for either one, but
I'm gonna play straight to what I think is actually happening, which is analyzing the situation.
Cool.
So I will roll 2 dice, 1 because I'm being clever. You're saying that, right? So
I am. Yep, I think this is clever.
And because I'm transcended. Well, let's see. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's a 6 and a 5. That's fantastic, actually.
That is fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. So you absolutely do it. You get a result of 4 or better. Interesting. Oh, actually, okay, I missed this part before. Sorry. The choice is yours, whether you want them to have increased effect or better position.
Oh, okay. I would say in this case it's going to be increased effect, because right now with 1 harm you have less effect. Basically, your next action is zeroed out. You're not suffering from harm with this.
Very cool. And it seems like we're all kind of collectively working towards a joint, like Ahti finisher or something like that. So with that in mind, Carmente, I know that you were setting up a harpoon shot. Do you want to do something? I cannot
Sorry.
hear you. No,
My
you're fine.
brain shorted out for a minute.
You're fine. I did call you
yeah.
Carmente, so don't worry about it.
Still learning code.
I know.
Yeah, so Carmente has repositioned themselves using the data that was originally sent to her, and is going to aim essentially at whatever narrative weak spot under its scales that was deduced from that, and is going to attempt to sort of level out the pull that Troyan has on it with the harpoon.
Okay, so that almost sounds like you were also setting Troyan up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
I love this teamwork. So what do you want to roll for this?
I'm gonna say analyze. I feel like this is a pretty easy analyze cell.
I think that is true. I'm not going to fight you on that. And also, do you have... You're like clever, right?
Clever
you are
and
clever.
calculating.
Yeah, I think, kind of feels like this is both. Maybe it's not calculating, because calculating, I think, implies like a certain amount of coldness. I think this is clever. So you get a bonus die.
Okay. So that's 3d6. That's beautiful. It's a 6, a 2, and a 1.
Okay, very cool. So you also got a 6. You succeed flawlessly. You can do increased effect or better position. Troyan already has increased effect. So better position
Yes.
might be the way to go.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking.
Cool.
Standard
So,
effect, better position feels
Chief,
right.
you launch the gravity net at the Leviathan, wraps around it, and it kind of starts to do that contraction. It starts to contract in on itself. The Leviathan is still thrashing around. It's still fighting. It's still struggling against it, but there's the harpoon that Troyan still has on its side. On its other side, there's now a harpoon from Cogs. Before we circle all the way back to Troyan, Tolu, this is the scene.
It's gonna be this time for sure.
Yeah.
Does this lanternfish have like a tail it uses to get around?
I kind of like the idea that it has a weird, gross, snaky thing coming out of
Okay.
it instead of like a fish tail, but yes.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pop that right off.
Nice. Okay. All right. Just yanking on it.
Izzy,
Just,
literally same thought. I was like,
Love it. Love it.
Hell yeah. All
Um,
right. I love that.
Yeah, let's just pull that right off. Just snap that right off.
Okay.
attempt
All
there.
right. All right. What do you want to roll?
I'm gonna go back to Defy for this one,
Love it.
which still have no dots in, but one day, one
One day.
day.
One day we'll get there.
Oh, no.
And I think this is pretty straightforward as far as like, I think this is controlled standard.
Yeah, that's a 6 and a 1.
oh,
That's rough.
That's rough.
Spaghetti. Huh?
That is rough. I
so
think in this case, I mean, this is the drama, right? This is what we're here for.
This is what we're here for.
This is what we're here for. Yeah, that one is pretty rough.
It's just gonna make it so good when I finally get to transcend and do something
It
cool.
is.
Oh
It
man,
is. Absolutely it is. Absolutely.
Just
it
save
is.
one of our lives.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
NBD.
hey, Will, can I make a suggestion on what happens here?
I'm open to the suggestion, sure.
Blood frenzy from Troyan.
From Troyan. I like the idea of, I like blood frenzy. Don't get me wrong. But I think that does imply that Tolu succeeded in any way, shape, or form.
Oh,
And unfortunately, it was a 1.
Oh, so we're saying like she missed completely.
I think my thought on this is that you grab onto this tail and you yank, maybe thinking that it's going to come off like a gecko tail or something.
Just
Um,
pop that right off.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't pop right off. And in fact, the tail, kind of like the tail, which is one of the few things that is not restrained on this creature, just starts lashing back and forth the second you take a hold of it, and kind of like just spins you around and hurls you directly on a head over heels tumbling collision course for the dead planet, the dead dwarf planet that it was using as cover. And I think that by the time you manage to kind of like regain your orientation and figure out what is happening, you are already on that collision course. And I think you hit the surface of that planet pretty hard. I think with a 1 on that, I think it's going to be level 2 harm.
Level 2
Well,
harm.
I'd like to use an ability.
Interesting, yes.
I think sending Tolu flying is probably not going to help our cause here. So, I think it's just a simple reach for a lever. Cogs yanks a lever, and I'm going to use Lost Cause.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's wild.
That's an insane ability. I hope you
It
know
is.
this.
It is.
It's so silly, guys.
Okay, all right. If you want to use this now, I'm open to it. Tolu is looking down the barrel of level 2 harm. If you use this, you are giving yourself level 3 harm.
I know.
I think it's fun. I'm into it, but it's up to you.
I gotta lean into it, I think.
Okay. I like this. You see Tolu tumbling towards the planet. You know, maybe in a timeline that you've been in before, Tolu doesn't survive that. Although I think we have said previously Tolu is maybe the X factor in this timeline. But maybe there's a similar situation where somebody takes that hit, doesn't walk away from it.
I think it's just like a war flashback of this is where we lose the second person.
Yep. So, JT, I gotta ask you, what does it look like when you jump timelines
Wild.
and abandon this one for a better one?
So, in the cockpit, it's just a pull of a lever. Cogs has already worked out the equations to perform this maneuver. Visually, I think what they see in Carmente is literally just a crack and then a shattering before time restitches itself back together, and Carmente is the one sent flying and Tolu is repositioned.
I think that's fair. You switch places. Tolu, your harpoon is the one that is on the other side of the lanternfish.
Yes.
Carmente, you go tumbling head over heels towards the surface of the planet.
Does one little last part here. Your relationship to the person you save is different in this timeline. They will tell you how.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Something for Izzy to think about. Your relationship has fundamentally changed in this timeline, and you get to decide.
I have a question. Do the rest of us realize the timeline has shifted?
I certainly don't think so.
Okay.
So you use that ability, and you're now in a new timeline. And you are tumbling towards the planet. You have level 3 harm. I think you are a more experienced pilot than Tolu is, so you are able to take the hit and kind of right yourself. I'm not going to give you any further consequences because you just gave yourself level 3 harm. So, back to the action, however, it's all kind of been building to this. Troyan, this fish is wrapped in the gravity net. It has 2 harpoons sticking out of it. One from you, one from Tolu. You have increased position. You have increased positioning. So that is going to make you, I'm going to say that's going to make your position controlled and your effect great.
Can I sense how many sparks are still in its belly being digested?
I think I'm going to say you can't determine the exact number.
But there's something in its belly.
There's something in its belly.
Oh, so it's either sparks or reed. I'm gonna loop the harpoon up around its tail and fins and whatever else it uses for locomotion, and then I'm going to call me McDonald's. I'm gonna filet-o fish, and I'm going to open the stomach up and scoop out my snack for the evening. It'll still be alive when I'm done.
I certainly hope that's true. What do you want to roll for this?
I was thinking either perceive or flow, because I'm still transcended, correct? Yeah.
You are still transcended.
Yeah. I think perceive or flow.
Okay. All right.
And I want to be very calculated because I spent who knows how many years eating these things.
It is definitely calculating, and I think it's definitely calculating because there is a risk inherent here. You are taking a calculated risk.
I am.
So you don't have to mark a transcendent action.
Yeah.
You are, roll with
So this is how many dice? Two? 3.
I think
2.
you're at 1 by my count. You have 1 in perceive when you're transcended. You don't have to mark a transcendent action, but you don't have a bonus die.
Okay.
Because I think this is more calculating than fierce.
Gotcha.
And given the risk inherent here, I'm not going to give you a poison promise. You can push
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, that'll eclipse. Well, I would have to roll to eclipse, right?
I don't think so. Is
You
there an
have to-
eclipse roll? There is.
Yeah, if you eclipse, it doesn't instantly happen. You have to get
Right.
below a certain number.
Yes.
I'm
What's
just
the
gonna
number I have to roll under?
I think it depends. Hold on, I could find it, but I was also
Yeah.
going to say, does
It's
anyone
right here.
have any links with Troyan right now that they could
Tolu
spend?
does.
I still do.
And Tolu is the only one who can assist me.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, if you spend them to assist, instead of getting 1 extra die, Troyan will get 2 because of sync ratio.
From sync
Do it.
ratio. That's the other part.
I'll spend
Um,
a link on that.
Cool. And it doesn't sound like you need to worry about this, but when you roll for eclipse, you roll using your lowest attributes.
Mhm.
So the lowest of sun, moon, stars.
Oh, it would be moon.
Yeah. And then depending on the outcome of that roll. But doesn't sound like you're pushing yourself. It sounds like Tolu is spending a link.
Yeah. Cool. Does
So,
Tolu
mark
say
that.
anything to me as I go in to like slice and dice? And
Oh, you better kill that fish so good.
I
Kill-
thought we weren't killing the fish.
Just kidding then.
Not the mission, but encouragement is encouragement.
Truly, this is the best rivalry. It's just not a rivalry.
Yeah. So 2 extra dice, 3 dice.
Okay. It is 2, 5.
Okay. The 5 is what
I-
matters. The
We'll take
5 is what matters.
I panicked a little because I couldn't read that one, guys. And I was like, what is that?
I love it. The 5 is what is important, but I do think it's a mixed success. It's not a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want you to roll. I think I want you to roll Sun.
And I
You have
don't
two
have any
dice.
die. I do. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have 2 dice in Sun.
Okay. Yeah, we're not rolling you. You were bad. Okay. we're rolling you. Okay. We're gonna roll Sun. Rolled a 2 and a 1.
Okay. So you're gonna take 4 stress. This is a resist consequence roll. You are gonna control the urge that Ati is flooding your mind with. Ati is just in your head like kill, eat, kill. You have this urge competing against your own. You can quiet him. You can quiet your engine and ignore it, but it takes you a second, and you are going to take stress in the process of that.
So what happens when I go over my stress count? Do I just like reset it to 0 and then add what I just no? Oh, I just hit it and
You
reset
fill it, and we make an eclipse roll.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay, I'm rolling.
Which,
what?
fortunately, we just looked up the rules. You're gonna roll with your lowest attribute, which is moon, which is
Yeah.
nothing.
So I get 1 dice.
2,
Right.
and you take the
Wait.
lower.
2 and I take the lower. Do I roll the same dice again, guys? I don't know. Can I trust you?
Hmm.
I don't trust them.
This is our first eclipse roll. It's very
So
exciting.
exciting.
I'm so scared.
You'll be fine.
Oh, because I know how I have to play this if I fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you did this to you.
You did this to yourself.
What
I
are we
rolled
looking
double
at?
sixes. I rolled
Double
double
sixes. I love that for you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. Hell yes. So not only is that a success, that's a critical success.
That is a critical success.
You can erase one spent segment of your transcendence track and recover 5 stress.
What?
So not only do you not eclipse, you hold on to hope, you stay in the struggle, you erase 5 stress from your track, and in addition, you rolled moon. Every other player recovers 2 stress.
Woo woo.
So
and
I
Aki
do.
gets a snap.
So I am going to need you to describe something suitably epic as far as your inner struggle with Ati. That would give everybody around you the benefit of recovering 2 stress. There's something inspiring that's taking place here. There's something about you that is healing your comrades.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen the Venom movies.
Have I?
I mean, did I base this character a little off the Eddie Venom dynamic? Maybe. So maybe Carnage. But anyway, so there's moments where Eddie and Venom are not getting along. Venom going a little feral, but you guys watch Ati start removing itself from the skeleton of whatever it's like. Let's just say when it starts removing itself from the skeleton, the skeleton do not match how Ati presents herself. There's a frame under there that Chief may recognize, and the inky blackness that is Ati starts to, as my dog spins me around in my chair, starts to infiltrate this Leviathan, and you see, I think, little sparks of golden and green and blue light coming out of its belly, traveling along this inky blackness, and you see Ati getting larger and larger, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of stops and solidifies like Play-Doh on a frame.
I think I'm going to make a declaration here, which is whether or not you realize this, Troyan, comms are open.
Oh, Troyan's not saying anything out loud.
Are you sure about
There's-
that? Maybe they don't realize that they're saying something out loud, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. You make a valid point, Will. You do make a valid point, because the litany in Troyan's head is you promised, you promised, you promised, get back here. You promised. And that's it.
yeah, I think if nothing else, it fully demonstrates to the rest of you, probably especially to you, Chief, that Troyan does have some degree of control.
Do I recognize the frame?
Yeah, it'd be boring if we said you didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it looks familiar.
Okay.
I think it looks very familiar. Troyan, you managed to pull the inky blackness back, you manage to kind of pull Ati, kind of shove that hunger away. The spark is enough. You all recover the 2 stress. Troy and you avoid eclipsing and help the rest of your team. In the aftermath of that, I think I'm going to say the net kind of fully contracts. This thing is injured. It was brought to the brink of death, but it's not dead. The gravity net fully contracts. You still have the harpoon sticking out of it. One from Tolu, one from you, Troyan. It stops fighting.
Do we win?
I'm going to call it right now that this thing is probably not going to get up after what the hell Troyan did to it.
No,
Did Troyan do to it?
I took away what it was drawing power from.
Okay, we'll address that after. Cogs, you wanted to look at this thing?
You need to bring it down or bring me up to it. My mech is not functional at the moment.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Okay. Let's pull
Probably
it.
best we go get him and get
Yeah.
moving.
Well, we're gonna have to tether it and bring it back with us. Cogs, can you look at it while we tether it and hold it?
You can kind of just tie me to it and I'll look at it.
I'm not comfortable with that, but
No, Cogs, it'll leech power out of you. Don't do that.
How do you? You know what? Never mind.
try and just help out, Cogs. I'm gonna.
I
send him-
really can't.
She can't.
Can
It's
I?
a bad idea for me to be around anyone injured right now.
Oh fuck. Okay, y'all are a hot mess. Tulu, yeah, go help.
Tolu goes to help.
And
Cool.
I'm gonna send a message to HQ saying we've bagged the
Tolu.
fish.
Good job.
Thanks. I got a harpoon in there.
Mm-hmm.
You receive a message back from command that says, Roger, heard, retrieve specimen. This seems like a very good chance, Tolu, as you were going to help Carmente. For me to ask you, how do you think your relationship has changed in this timeline?
I don't think Tolu trusts Cogs. I think she watches him do a lot of the disappearing in and out of like walls
Mhm.
and is like, that's sus. So I think it's not a dislike, it's just a distrust.
I like that. Does that present itself in any way when you are sent to retrieve?
I think it'll just like hover over Carmente for a second and be like, so you good? You don't have to answer
I-
that. You're not
I
good.
hit a planet too fast. It
Yeah,
happens.
sorry about that.
Too.
Do you want a hug?
You don't have to. We can.
It's too late. The hug is
Okay,
happening.
this is 2 robots.
There we go.
Not really a physical sensation
There we
for
go.
me.
There we go.
Can you just bring me to the?
Take it in.
Okay.
And then we'll sort of just drag gently, kind of awkwardly, very awkwardly drag Carmente back toward everyone else.
Cogs, did you say 2?
2.
Like the
Two?
number 2?
Aw.
Cogs has only hit a planet that fast twice.
Wow.
Oh,
We're
my
almost
count
there.
page is getting an update.
I mean,
It's
by
really
that
good.
logic, if we hit a planet even faster and harder, maybe that's the one.
Can you bring me close to the wound, Tolu?
And just tuck you right in there. There you go. Really get a
Please
good
don't.
look.
Okay.
Hey, Logan. Does Chief ask Troyan anything while we're waiting?
No, not
Okay, good.
directly. Well, let me rephrase it. Does he ask verbally? No. But on your communicator, there is a message that's honestly just says, "We need to talk." With like
Uh-huh.
with a like probably an emoji face of just like someone, like the blank face emoji, like no one emotion is set there, but it's like, I'm not angry, I'm not happy, I'm kind of confused.
Okay. The response is, it's exactly what you think it is.
You get a bunch of exclamation point emojis and a very like angry face, but like you can sense it's not at you.
Mm.
Language of the future.
Mhm.
Emojis.
The kids love the emojis, I know
It's
it's
true.
Skibbity.
skibbity
Yeah.
toilet.
Don't. How dare.
I have I have nieces and nephews that say things that I first think is insane, but hey, I probably did the same thing.
I mean, I do think
Well,
it's important for us to make Jeet and Harp feel comfortable.
I
in this
stop.
environment.
Those are neither my monkeys nor my circus. Please do not lump me in with them.
Oh.
Cogs, what are you trying to figure out about this lanternfish kaiju monster?
We wouldn't be going after an injured Leviathan unless they thought the injury had something to do with it.
Hmm.
Cogs is
Interesting.
looking for any information about the origin of this wound that might point to why the leaders would have us go on such a mission, especially since they've already seemingly given up.
I think that's fun. What do you want to roll for this? I think the mission phase is very close to being over, but I think you can make this action roll.
Can I squeeze out a transcended analyze?
Yeah, I think so. You're still transcended. I think. Do you have to mark your transcendent track for this? Let's see.
Do you think I'm being calculated?
Yeah, I think you're being pretty calculating. I also think you're being clever. I think this is a rare instance of achieving both. So you can take a bonus die, and you're also not going to have to mark a transcendent action for this.
Okay. Beautiful. So that's a bonus die, 3 dice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a 6, a 5, and a 3.
Okay, very cool. So you got a 6. You got a full send success. I think that as you start to analyze this wound, and it becomes clear to you pretty quickly that this wasn't made by a weapon. Whatever wounded this thing was A, large enough to wound it, and B, did it with something more like a tooth or a claw. Maybe a spike of some kind, but the wound is rough and it's jagged and it's not clean the way that it would be from a sword or any type of weapon that you're familiar with from the engines.
Can I get a sample of whatever dug its teeth into this thing? Teeth, metaphorically, claw, literally.
You got a 6, so I will say yes. I think that you can find a small sample of like a shard of something that looks a lot like bone or maybe tooth.
Cox will then get on comms and go, "Thank you for giving me a look."
and then you can start hauling it back to the Delphi. When you get back, you are received very well. This was, as far as anyone in command is concerned, a full success. Y'all came back alive, mostly undamaged, and you achieved your mission to the exact letter of what they sent you out there to do. I think in particular, as you, once your engines are docked and you've all left your cockpits and you're standing there, you are received by a very smiley General Swanson. Tells you, I think in particular, looks around at all of you, but claps Chief on the shoulder, says, "Great work out there."
Well, you know, it's the least we can do, right? And I think before, like, too much, he clasps his arm and he pulls them in. You didn't fucking tell me that she survived, and he is paintedly looking at Torin.
He follows your gaze, and then looks back at you, smile never leaving his face, says back to you just as low, "Do you honestly think she did?"
I've seen some crazy shit. At this point, anything's possible. Well, I think it's enough of this. I gotta go decompress and make sure that, and he looks at all the engines. Our saviors are ready for the next sortie.
Couldn't be happier. And all of you, I think, should take some time to relax. You might call them our saviors, but remember, they're nothing without you.
Yeah. Okay, team, relax. Don't worry about it. You did good today.
Thanks, Chief. I got a harpoon in there. I don't know if you saw.
I saw. I was watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Did good.
See, the unfortunate part is that's not true. I didn't get a harpoon in there.
But
that's
you
fine.
did.
No
Oh,
one
no,
in
this
it's
the
true.
version,
timeline knows that.
It's true.
this version
One
of
person
you
in the timeline
did.
knows that.
Yeah. And in fact, I think as you are kind of like leaving the hangar, General Swanson will put out a hand to stop you, Tolu.
I didn't do it. Or I did do it. What are you about to say? Tell me what you're going to say, and then I will respond appropriately. Okay, you go now.
I just wanted to say that I think everyone is wrong about you.
Everyone?
I think that there's a reason Ocean chose you. And I think you did well today.
Tolu kind of looks at the ground and then looks up for a second. It was like no big deal, you know? It's like, whatever, right? Sir? Cool. All right, I'm going to go by.
Find your rest, operator.
You too, buddy.
And he will let you go. So, we did that. We did the mission. You brought back a severely injured Leviathan.
But not dead.
But not dead. Per their instructions, you followed them to the exact letter. Which means that your mission has ended, and the only thing left for us to determine is the Fallout. Everybody's favorite part. Let's see here. So, all right, sorry. First thing we have to do is evaluate the adversary track. Cool. So, looking at that, we have our adversary track. The Leviathans. We have only 2 segments marked. One is automatically going to advance during Fallout, but each one that occurred during the following, each one of the following that occurred during the mission, it moves forward an additional 1. The adversary's agenda moved forward. I do not think that this moved forward the Leviathan's agenda. Someone fell into Eclipse or was killed by or defected to the adversary. This did not happen, though it came very close. The protagonists came closer to their destiny as established in our series creation. I do wonder if that happened, and I think it might have.
See that?
In this particular instance. So I think that's going to be another segment. And now we are going to roll dice. I am going to roll dice equal to the current investigation tier, which in this case is the readiness tier, which for our purposes is at the 3rd. It's very nearly completely full. So I'm going to roll 3d6. I just have to get to the this is specific.
Well,
No, we're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No, you're just yeah.
Yep.
We're totally fine.
You're so good.
Well, you need to go back and watch the VOD at that exact moment.
All right. I will. Wait, what
That was-
happened?
you missed it.
Yeah,
You
you missed
missed
it
it.
entirely.
Yeah, you had to
That
be
was-
there.
Utterly silent communication at work.
I had to check things. There's a lot of rules.
It's fine.
Uh-huh.
It's fine. I just think you should have looked up at one point.
Sure. I'll go back. I'll check it out. Somebody clip it. Somebody clip it and send it
Oh
to
yeah, I
That would
can
be
do
very
that.
nice.
I forgot. I'll do it.
me. What is our Fallout? Fallout is the. Wait, actually, sorry. Hold on.
What am I holding on to?
Your
Your
horses.
butts.
Oh.
Ah,
Hold on to
Good.
your butts.
I'm good at that because it's attached to me.
There you go.
I hold on to it every day.
Okay, sorry. Roll dice equal to the investigation tier. Consult the chart. Blah blah blah. Consequences of the fallout. That's what means of dialogue. I'm confused. Okay, all right. So, all right, I think I understand. We're in tier 3 because that's where we are for readiness. And 5. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. I like this. So you all go your separate ways in the aftermath of your mission. You find whatever respite you can, whatever helps you unwind. And I have to ask JT, where does Cog sleep?
So, in the bowels of the pipes and the inner works of the Delphi, there is a small clearing with a single wall on it. Cogs has set up that little area as their sort of home because they do not like to be observed anymore. The wall is almost top to bottom math and formulae as they attempt to decipher a way to unwind what is happening to them. There's a small sleeping bag and a few leather-bound books and a couple pieces of very small rudimentary science equipment.
Cogs, do you dream?
They do, but I think they don't like to.
We've established several times now that your connection to Antivortum is unique. It's different from the connections that the others have to their engines. Maybe not that different from Troyan's connection with Ahti, but certainly the nature of the connection is different. You are deep in a dream when you finally fall asleep that night after returning from your mission. You jump timelines, which means that you're kind of starting from scratch. And you have a dream that you are surrounded by clock faces. And you hear a noise, like a tick, tick, tick noise. At first, maybe you think it's the ticking of the clocks, but then you realize it's not that kind of sound. The sound of glass slowly fracturing. And the moment you have that realization, all of the clock faces, all at once, all around you, shatter.
I think Cogs would shut their eyes as tight as they can and crouch with their hands over their head. They're whispering under their breath, "Not again. Please, not again."
You wake up from this dream. You find yourself crouched. You find yourself clutching your head. You realize what you've probably been repeating. And in that moment, you realize that Antivortum is silent. You realize that something about that last jump, last timeline jump, has had consequences that you never could have anticipated. And your engine is no longer functional.
I think Cogs would begin to sort of almost forcefully monkey their way back through the works and kick a vent out of a wall in the bay and just sprint towards their engine.
You find yourself standing in front of Antivortum.
No, I can't do this again without you. I don't know what comes next. I don't know who is out there. They have a predator, and you know that now as well as I do. You can't go. You can't go. We came this far. We were supposed to get out together. Don't do this to me. Not now. You can't go quiet now. I can't do this without you. This was supposed to be our predicament.
And no matter how much you say, No matter how much you yell, you wail and beg. Into Vordom is silent.
They fall to their knees and they pull out their counter keeper. They write at the top of a blank page, "I am truly alone," and they mark one scratch.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of God Complex.
Hell yeah.
How else could we?
Amazing.
I'm
Tier
sad.
3.
Yay!
Tier 3.
Sadness.
Tier 3 for
Y'all.
Fallout on a 4 to 5. An engine breaks down.
Damn.
Wow.
We can fix her. That is, mechanically, there are ways to fix her.
It'll be fine.
And I
Um,
just got a hold of a whole bunch of sparks that we can shove inside her.
It's true. There are options available to us.
It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
That's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, in the meantime, there is another engine that we did recover. So, you know, just saying.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
This is-
Yeah. Or maybe the next mission is to find a new engine for cogs. Who knows? Maybe you don't even need it to board them. Well, safe to say that's going to do it for us here tonight. I think we'll go around and everybody can tell the people watching where they can find you, what else you got going on. Of course, we'll start with Cass.
I'm processing.
Sure.
What is today? The 12th? Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Cass. There is a 99% chance Mason had to carry Troyan back to her cell. Where will you see me next? Well, next Thursday I will be over on Live from the Apocalypse for Redacted. Which is also going about as well as this game for my character's mental health. We resurrected one of the ghosts in my brain. It's fine. Basically, the month of September, that's mostly what I've got going on, is alternating Thursdays showing up here. I will be popping up here and there, depending on scheduling other places. But keep your eyes peeled for announcements from Tales from the Table Studios tomorrow. There's something fun coming.
Ooh.
And I've been sitting on this for 3 months and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me on Discord under Yod Almighty. I have a Blue Sky, but I don't use it.
Sick. Izzy?
Hello, I'm Izzy. I have been Tolu tonight, the unlikely hero. You can find me on Twitter at Z_Mist, Mist with a Y because fantasy. That's pretty much all of where I am, so don't look for me anywhere else because it's going to be a fruitless effort. Unless you go to Discord, but then I have a different name, so we're going to... Never mind. I also do a podcast that drops every Wednesday on all the places you can, podcast, called Pod Against the Machine. It's a Pathfinder 1E AP that I play with some friends, and it's super fun. We get to fight dragons and magic guys, but also robots. So come check that out if you're into those things and you like even more rules than regular D&D. That is all I got for you.
And Logan.
Hello. My name is Logan, also known as Logan the GM. You can catch me on most social media at Logan the GM. You can also catch me here doing all kinds of magical girl robot shenanigans. You can also catch me on Another Girl by Moonlight podcast. Or not podcast. Well, that's a podcast. This is a... You know what you're doing. You're on the internet. You're a smart cookie. But you can catch me on Bloom and Blight, where we have finished. We did our season finale, so you have plenty to listen to, plenty to enjoy. Where I am Wolfsbane, your lovable robot loving twink and all that stuff. Additionally, you can catch me in Apochromatic, where I am one of the admins there. We are an all POC TTRPG collective where we focus on raising the voices of all of other POC within this space. So, shout out to that. That's fantastic. And I think that's all I got. So,
Yeah, and I will say I am Will. Hello, I've been your storyteller this evening. You can find me all over the internet at @AWillMScream, but mostly over at Live from the Apocalypse, not-for-profit TTRPG studio, where we make actual play content and podcasts and things like that for charitable causes. We just switched our charity partner because we've met our goal. We're currently raising money for medical aid for Palestinians. Sunday, you can catch me over there at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Academy H crew. It's a Masks actual play podcast that we create. We do record it live on Twitch for mostly fundraising purposes, but also so you can enjoy seeing how we do that, I guess. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a very good time. We are wrapping up an arc, I think. We will be doing that this Sunday. Other than that, I have kind of a quiet week, but on the 20th, so next Friday, you can catch me over at Exquisite Corpse Presents for the premiere of a show called Metalloteens and the City of Tomorrow, also Masks. I don't get to play Masks very often. I run Masks a lot. I'm very excited that I get to play Masks. So you can tune in for that. I believe it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't quote me on that. But Exquisite Corpse Presents Metalloteens in the City of Tomorrow. It's going to be very good. I play a twin with one of the other members of Bloomin' So can check that out. And then the following Saturday, the day after that, is a class reunion. The 5e homebrew isekai about a group of high school students who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years that we play Saturday mornings. It's our Saturday morning cartoon. Feel free to bring your pajamas and your breakfast cereal. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's very gay. That's it for me. I will turn it over to JT.
Hi, I'm JT. You can find me all over the internet at WeebG. Also, all over the internet at Entropy Emporium. That's right, this is only technically, my channel. We have a whole swath of lovely game masters and storytellers over here that are all telling really fun stories. I only tell one of them, soon to be two. But I will go over the shows that we offer here in just a moment. For now, you can find me every other Wednesday on High Shelf Collective, starting next Wednesday with Arc 3 of the Beacons of Farlight, my post-apocalyptic Warhammer 40k inspired Forsaken planet, where my heroes have been thrust back in time, albeit temporarily, and have to find their way home before the Night Watch gets any more ideas about how to take Forsaken for themselves. That is what they will be handling. There's a lot of emotional drama as well, so come tune in for the premiere of that. It is going to be very interesting. You can also find me every other Wednesday on Lost Caravan, playing in the Nova campaign as Caldwell. Caldwell is a sad robot scientist with a few friends. Now, Entropy Emporium has five or four lovely shows right now. Every other Tuesday, including next Tuesday, you can catch They Call Us Villains. It is a Horror Masks actual play run by JD, who's a good friend from ours over on LFTA. Every other Thursday is this. You know where to find us and you know when to find us, because today is a Thursday and it's bi-weekly. So, 2 Thursdays. We'll see you there. Fridays is a 5e homebrew game run by me called The Weird Wilds War. All the planes are gone. Where did they go? Who knows? Come check that out. It's a very fun cast, very lovely group of people. And then every other Saturday bi-weekly is Blooming in the Rot, our Invisible Sun actual play run by Kian, where I play the nicest man on Earth, notoriously. And then coming in a week or two, we have our public access miniseries, which is a rotating anthology, also run by Kian, where we rotate between Brindlewood Bay and public access. That is the first show on this channel that I have had literally zero involvement in. Kian has done everything by himself, and it's really impressive and cool, and I like it a lot. And I think you should check it out.
I'm in that also. I forgot to talk about that. I'm in public access.
Will is in public access. That's true. I was very excited to see the 2 casts. They're very cool. We have 2 shows in production at the moment that are sort of entering the almost ready to maybe be hinted at phase, so keep your eye out for those. I'm very excited for both of them. As for what we are going to do this evening, we are going to go ahead and raid over to Crit Hit Chronicles, who I believe look like they are playing something from the Cobalt Press. which is very fun. So we're going to send a raid over on them, show them some love, and we will see you next time.